What do you think dreams are? What is the realm that we are in when we're dreaming? Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to today's live session where we will be talking about dream work and, of course, lucid dreaming. Those of you who are present, I hope that you will say hi in the comments and let us know how you're feeling today. Today, I am feeling incredibly grateful and very excited to talk about this topic that is an absolute passion of mine. I would love to hear from those of you present. Have you tried working with your dreams before? Have you had a dream that was like, whoa, what was that? Really strange, possibly even a nightmare. And have you ever had a lucid dream? Have you ever tried to have a lucid dream? Is there any comment that you wish to bring through about dreams? And most importantly, I would love to ask you, because this is where we're going to start the conversation today, what do you think dreams are? Where do you think they exist? What is the realm that we are in when we're dreaming? And for those of you who don't know, hello, my name is Carla. I am a psychic, dreamwork teacher, spiritual teacher. What else can we add to that? Healer, magic practitioner, and also quite recently, hypnotherapist and past life regression therapist. And I am absolutely fascinated by the dream realms. It has hands down been one of the most activating and revealing spaces for me. What does a lucid dream mean? We are certainly going to unpack that. Thank you for asking the question. Let me just write a note here. But yes, what is lucid dreaming? And maybe let's have a discussion, right? Maybe some of you wish to actually comment and share what you think the answers are. And as answers come through and as I start to open doorways of possibilities, let's just allow ourselves in this moment, especially with this conversation, but really whenever you are moving through your life, I think it's a great approach to have, to allow any of the possibilities, right, the different answers that come through, to never be the final answer. Because I think personally, and I think the dreams really show this to us in a powerful way, we are multidimensional beings. And there is not just one way to explain something, to unpack something. There are always multiple ways to see. So the subconscious, well, I think that is one great way to explain it. And I think that is correct. I don't think it's the only way to explain it. Because what indeed is the subconscious, right? And this is the problem with labels, right? We're like, oh, when we can label something, we can pop it in this little category. We think we can contain it. We think we can understand it. But what is the definition of subconscious, right? And absolutely, dream realms are 100% one of the most potent and powerful ways to access the contents of your subconscious. I do think that these realms are 100% connected. But how do we define what subconscious is? Because, sure, we can link it with mind. What is mind? What indeed is the psyche, right? I'm going to reference quite a lot the teachings of Jung, but I really am paraphrasing. I'm well read, but I don't, please know, I'm sitting here having a conversation and I don't exactly have references in front of me, so I'm just pulling things out of my brain. But if we look at, for example, the root of the word psyche, right, and you know, in our very medical, westernized, academic sort of way of seeing, we think of psyche as just the mind, as in linked with the brain, with the thinking realm. But if we look at the root, which is, I believe, a Greek root, the realm of psyche, which of course is, you know, subconscious and conscious mind, um, is a part of it. But the psyche is not just the mind, right? And the mind is not just the brain. Psyche includes the soul and the spirit and the body. And I think it's important for us to remember as we begin to explore concepts and ideas, that concepts and ideas and definitions, they're always just going to be little signposts pointing at something. Those words are not the thing we are describing. It's like if we sit and try to explain what is God, right? Any words, any pointers, any definitions will only be that. They will only be pointing to something that we can never fully explore or understand through our very limited apparatus of language. And I think first and foremost, we must never allow ourselves to think we have dreams, lucid dreams, the mind, the subconscious, the self, and life, the mysteries of life, completely unlocked or we've figured it out, right? And I think that that's a good moment for me to go, these realms, dreams, the mind, the psyche, the subconscious, the unseen, the astral realms, while I avidly explore these realms, while I study these realms, while I read a lot about these realms, while this is a huge interest to me. You know, recently someone reached out to me asking me to join their podcast and share my, and I quote, expertise in dream work, lucid dreaming, and astral projection, which of course is, by the way, very similar to lucid dreaming. And I felt quite uncomfortable with this word expert. Because I think when we put that cap of expert on, it says, I'm done, right? I know the most about this space. And I acknowledge that this is a space not myself nor anyone else can ever fully tap into or fully understand. And I think that to acknowledge myself as just the eternal student, learner of that space, and while I can share what I've learned, what I've unpacked, there is never a final answer here. For this is a space of multiplicity, of many definitions, none of which are wrong. And why would we ever place a cap on ourselves that limits how we can experience that? And I think that the other important acknowledgement here is that the experience of the dream realm, of the spirit realm, of your life, of your subconscious access, of the universe and the way you see it, is always divinely unique to you. And so you are the key to your journey in that realm. You are the key to unlocking your dreams. You are the key to interpreting your dreams. And you are the key to waking up within your dreams, i.e. having lucid dreams. And, you know, especially those dreams that linger with us, they call for our attention. And of course, I'm going to say to you, you should pay attention. And you should explore, what do those symbols mean? And we're going to talk a little bit about decoding dreams today. Just a little bit. We'll give you some keys. But we want to start right at the beginning, because step one in working with your dreams, right? And people always want to jump straight to, astral projection. I want to jump straight out of my body, but they don't want to do all of the meditation required to bring yourself into such deep relaxation that you're able to actually shift out of your body. And what I want to say is the practice of lucid dreaming is an excellent step into getting good at astral projection, because it's essentially the same thing if we're looking through a spiritual lens, right? And we're going to switch lenses as we move through this conversation. You're going to see me talking from a psychological perspective. Have no doubt, I can see it also from the spiritual perspective. Is there any difference? The only difference is the lens you're looking through. It is the same thing that you are seeing in each moment. And so the first step, if you want to work with your dreams, how many of you don't even remember your dreams? How many people I say, you should be working with your dreams, right? When I'm with one-on-one clients, my psychic sessions. And people will say to me, oh, I don't even dream. No, darling, that is certainly not true. And especially, of course, when I'm tapped into someone's energy, I can tell there's important stuff coming through in their dream realms, and they need to start paying attention. And your mind, your focus, the story you tell yourself, right, is so important. If you say to yourself, oh, I don't dream and I don't remember my dreams, your dreams are obviously not going to be carried across that bridge from unconscious into conscious, across the bridge into waking. And so the first practice you have to bring in is, I want to work with my dreams. I'm excited about the prospects of what dreaming can mean, right? And so I'm going to start working on remembering my dreams. You are awake within the dream, and that is the definition of lucid dreaming. It is becoming conscious of the fact that you are in a dream, that you are not in this 3D realm reality where, your hands kind of look like this, things kind of follow certain laws of science. That is lucid dreaming. And many people naturally lucid dream. It's actually very normal. We've gotten to a point in society where we kind of hold lucid dreaming up like it's this golden cup that you've got to reach. 95% of children interviewed and studied in certain studies, and I can't tell you which one right now, but a study that I've read, 95% of children who were interviewed reported lucid dreaming. They just didn't know what it was, right? They didn't have the terms or the labels of what lucid dreaming is. So waking up within your dream, becoming aware of the dream space. And yes, then you can do things like control the dream, right? Shift the direction, ask questions, dream in certain spaces, or jump out of, jump off the floor and fly, right? That's very common. Most children have those flying dreams. That's normally a lucid dream. What is the purpose of astral projection? Multiple purposes. I could do an entire lecture just on astral projection, and today I want to focus more on lucid dreaming. So whatever answer I give you now is really, it's barely even a lick of the tip of the iceberg. But one such purpose could be, you can go to meet guides, you can go to meet certain beings, you can go to do healing work, you can explore certain symbolic realms, you can go to certain astral realms to seek answers, you can, etc. I could go on. And I think for me, one of the greatest self as a spirit, right, that I am not the body. The body is something that I have the privilege of inhabiting. And the experience of being in this body is a gift, but that's not who I am. And I think that is the most profound gift for me that has come out of the astral projection. And I think it also helps a lot with facing the fear of death, because when we die, we leave the body. So it's leaving the body. Lucid dreaming, but I worry about the energetic, unintended consequences of astral projection. Lucid dreaming is the same. I'm just going to say it. Lucid dreaming is the same thing as astral projection. The only difference with astral projection is that you don't first lose consciousness. You skip the losing consciousness part, you remain conscious, and you just leave the body. When you are dreaming, and now we're talking through the spiritual lens, when you are dreaming, you leave your body and you go to astral realms. You are astral projecting. You're just not conscious of the fact that you're astral projecting. Now, it's very interesting because I have come across a lot of people talking, and I know where that's coming from, right? The consequences. And a lot of people have fears around being in astral realms because, of course, you can meet very real, very scary things. But I want to tell you, and let's come back to the truth of all is one. All is a mirror, as above, so below. Where you are within yourself is what you will experience within the astral realms. So yes, it is a great idea to feel powerful, to feel safe, to feel grounded, to feel protected, to create allies in spirit before playing with these things. You should feel safe, right? The very fact that you have fear about astral projection is an indication you're not ready to practice it just right now. But in this moment, right now, you could release that fear and go, oh, actually, everything is safe. I do know people who've had scary experiences. I, too, have had very scary experiences. I have experienced demons. But let me tell you something a lot of spiritual people do not want to admit. It is all you, darling. It is all you. And if you face, and often you do need to actually face something fearful, it's almost like a gatekeeping. You got to face the fear to push through, to get through that experience, right? It's like that collapse of space and time, because space and time does not exist in these spaces. Like, we conceptualize it as spaces because that's how our brains work, but it's a space of no space. It's another dimension entirely. And of course, I don't have all the answers. How can I possibly have all the answers? I am but a human in this experience as I'm sitting here talking to you in my flesh and blood body. But what if you allowed yourself to consider, to contemplate the possibility that there is a version of you, right? And I'm going to say that is the version of you who is quite often the dream version of you. Not always, right? We take a lot of our personalities with us there. But there is a higher self version of you, a spirit version of you, who is all powerful. A version of you to whom no harm can come without your permission. You can, of course, have the experience of harm, right? And the experience is a real experience. No one will take that away from you. But you can also choose to come back to the truth that you are eternal and no harm can come of you. The paradoxes, right? The absolute paradoxes. So let's just bring it a few steps back again. Why would you want to work with your dreams? Why? And of course, if you're going to work with your dreams, you're going to need some motivation. So let's build up the motivation right now. Let's talk about the kinds of things you can unlock, discover, do, realize, be by starting to access your dreams. Right? You can reveal to yourself patterns, fears, belief systems that you can alter within the subconscious. The dream realm is a very powerful space to actually shift those things around, right? It can give you clues about places where you're lying to yourself in waking life, right? We've been so programmed to bury things, and then it just goes into the subconscious, and then we play out these patterns and be like, hey, why am I always attracting toxic relationships? Hey, why am I always attracting unavailable people? Hey, why, you know what, I find it so easy to make friends, but then I find it really difficult to keep those friends. And I just keep finding new friends, but I really battle to maintain those like long relationships. Or whatever it is. You can ask your dreams. Your dreams, when you start to listen, when you start to show your interest, will respond. Because it's you that you are conversing with. And that is a space where you have access to meeting your guides, talking to your past loved ones, connecting with your ancestral spirits, meeting God or Goddess or the divine or the universe, going to any realm, right? And we can even talk in a little bit more of a basic sense. You can experience anything, darlings. You can fly, you can breathe water, you can travel the world, you can go into outer space, you can go to the moon or Mars, you can go to the surface of the sun. You can have any extreme and incredible experience you can dream of. You can unlock your psychic ability, your spiritual gifts in all of their myriad of forms, which you all have access to, all have abilities for it is only your own belief systems that stand in the way, between you and the greatest version of yourself you could possibly imagine, for you are even more than you could possibly imagine. And the dream realm is a place for you to discover that. You can do healing work in powerful ways. You can receive information and teachers from entities long gone, entities long crossed over, entities of all different realms and spaces. You can access the infinite. You can face fears. You can transmute fears into love. You can also go out and do energetic work for the collective. You can even do protest work in the dream space. I too have had people, I talked to someone who was spiritual one day, and I was saying, I'm busy working with the practice of astral projection at the moment, and she said, oh, don't do that. And then she told me about this scary experience that she had. Look, if you are mentally unstable, if you don't feel safe, if you're not feeling strong, if you're not feeling powerful, it's not the time to astral project, darling. You need to first get yourself into a space of feeling safe, comfortable, okay, grounded in your body, right? If you need to, if you've got a high anxiety disorder or something and you're dealing with intense trauma, my love, it's not the time for astral projection. It's the time for, counseling, therapy work, maybe even some hypnosis, working with some healers, whatever it is. It's not yet time for you to go out into the spirit realm by yourself, right? If you don't feel safe, don't go. If you don't feel safe, first work on getting yourself into that space of feeling, I am powerful, I am safe, right? And that's a rule for life, darlings, right? If you don't feel safe to go out of the house, well, it's probably not a good moment to go out of the house because you're just going to draw that in, you're going to attract it, right? If you are completely paranoid in waking life, if you go into the astral realms, everything manifests instantly in the astral realms. If you're feeling great and happy and secure and grounded and comfortable, you go into the astral realms, you're going to have a great experience, right? And I also want to say, if you experience something scary, facing it is incredibly powerful. I have faced many scary things in those realms. I know that I'm not normal when it comes to this. For example, I have a particular love for nightmares. Why? Because nightmares are what taught me how to become lucid. And facing my nightmare images is how I transmuted my nightmares into the best lucid dreams I could possibly ask for. And I turned nightmare symbols into guiding spirits. Because the thing you see that you fear is you. The thing you see that you fear is you. And when you realize there is nothing to fear and you turn around, you catch yourself in that moment where you want to run away screaming in terror. And you go, oh, I remember this nightmare image. And you turn around and you face that thing. You embrace that thing. You call it in as yourself. You take it in. Ooh, that is a very powerful moment. And when people come to me, and I know I'm not trying to put light on it in terms of, or to make, I am actually trying to make light of it. Nightmares can be transmuted in powerful ways. In powerful ways. I know that it's a terrifying experience. We have all experienced terrifying experiences. But for me, nightmares are incredible gifts. And they also show you, right? Firstly, you remember nightmares because they're so scary. So you wake up the next day and you're like, oh, what happened? So firstly, you've already overridden the first step of working with your dreams. You're remembering a dream. So write it down. Ask yourself how you felt. Why did you feel that way? What made you so scared? What does it remind you of in your life? Where in your waking life do you feel that way? What are the symbols that come up? And how is that completely not relatable to waking life? Acknowledge that, right? Oh, it's not normal for me to run around with knives in my hand, for example. Right? It's not normal that it's raining inside the house. It's not normal that we're sitting around the table and the room is flooding. It's not normal to see a grotesque monster sitting in the corner of the room. Those things don't happen in waking life. So you acknowledge those things. And if those symbols come up again, deja vu. I've been here before. Oh, I wrote about this. It's a dream. Oh, I'm not in waking life. I can take control here. I can ask questions. I can face the fearful image. Those are powerful moments of transmutation. Powerful, powerful moments. Okay. Yet again, let's take a step back. How do you improve dream recall? Okay, and I think I've given you enough reasons to get excited about why we want to work with those dreams. Lucid dream, wow, thank you. Just what I wanted to get clear on today. I have lucid dreams almost every night. Very powerful spiritual gift. Curious if this is why I don't feel totally rested when I wake up. Yes. Yes. You can also sometimes just ask your spirit before bed if you feel like you just need rest. You can ask your spirit to just give you full rest. You don't want to be out there exploring too much. You know, it's like we're living actually two lives, and so many of us are not conscious of the double life we're living, right? There's this waking life, but there's also that waking life. And in some ways, I would argue that that realm is more real than this one. The dream may possibly be this waking life. And when you start to get a little bit loose with your definitions, because I think that's the other powerful thing about waking up in the lucid dreams. This is very real, that realm. Very real. And you are a very real entity, not attached to the physical laws of this realm. And when we leave this realm, death, right? No such thing. death. That is the being we are. And I think that waking up in the lucid dreams and rediscovering the spirit aspect of yourself is very powerful in understanding the truth of who you are, which is way beyond this physical existence. You are an ancient being, eternal, infinite, since the beginning of time. Even those of you who resonate with being young souls. Young souls are just souls who chose to wipe the slate clean and forget everything they've done before so that they can start fresh. That's the only difference between an old soul and a young soul. Old soul holds more memory, carries more karma as well. Fresh souls doesn't mean you're not ancient, darling. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. You are all here since the beginning of time. And you are all holding the power of God, Goddess, Universe, Source Energy, whatever terms you prefer to insert here, the divine. You hold the potential of all humanity, for you are one with all of the universe. You have the power of the sun, the moon, the stars, a nuclear bomb. But the power of all of the love accumulated over all centuries across all time, ever. You are it all. The ugly you see, the beauty. How do we take responsibility for that? And how do we use dreams to understand ourselves deeper in a more multi-dimensional way? All right. Love this conversation. I had a lucid dream last night, but my consciousness fell asleep very, very quickly. Sometimes I don't stay awake past a few seconds. That also just takes practice, and that's okay. And sometimes we're too tired to stay conscious, right? So it's really just about accessing some of the tools of like how you can play more with that realm. How you can see yourself as more powerful when you realize, oh, I'm actually in a realm of complete, limitless potential. You could do anything, go anywhere, ask any question, access any information, right? So let me just talk for a moment about some of the meditations I have here on Insight Timer that can help you with this journey if you want to tap in. For those of you who are not on premium, I have a practice to invoke lucid dreaming and improve dream recall. It's one long session. You can fall asleep to it. I'm going to tell you, it is like the second meditation I ever made. It is not the best quality. All right? Please don't leave me awful reviews. Please take the practices, learn the practices, okay? Which is essentially an invocation and setting intention. Try it 7 days in a row, or just listen to it once and learn it, and then take the ritual over yourself. Do it yourself. The idea is that it's a teaching to show you how you can set that intention, the kinds of words you can weave. Okay, it's not the only way to do it. It's a practice that works for me. It's very powerful. It is based on a teaching from a book I read, and let me see if the name comes through. Oh, I think the surname is Lukeman, but I have referenced him and his book, What Your Dreams Can Teach You. I've referenced him and his book on that meditation. All right? Tap into that one if it resonates. That can be an aid and a learning tool if you want to take this further after today. Of course, we're still going to share some more stuff, but I don't want to run through that whole ritual for you because it's accessible here on Insight Timer. For those of you on premium, I have recently made very amazing, very beautiful, high quality recordings. It is the same practice essentially, except I've split it into two. Because I was being a bit ambitious, I was throwing it all together in one. Step one is to start recalling your dreams and to create a practice of recording your dreams first thing in the morning. By recording your dreams, you are essentially taking something from the abstract, from across the realms, and you are grounding it in this reality. And you are saying to your dreams, I want to work with you consciously, and I want to bring the memory across that bridge. And you start to practice bringing those memories. You also create a very incredible, powerful archive of your dream symbols, your recurring themes and dreams, and things that you've been through. I have been recording my dreams for about, oh my goodness, I think 15 years, right? Sure, sometimes I slip out of the practice. I travel a lot. Sometimes it takes me a few days when I land in a new place to go, oh yes, let's tap into the dream, like dream recall, right? It's a bit more challenging while I'm traveling right now. Absolutely. I still get some powerful dreams coming through, right? You need to create that practice. You need to tell your dreams, almost as if your dreams are an entity, or maybe you're speaking to the dreamer you, right? Tell the dreamer you, I want to work with you. I want to remember the dreams. I'm excited about the dreams. Talk about your dreams. Mention dreams to people. Talk to your friends about it. Share the symbols. You know, whenever I talk about dreams with people, I always have powerful dreams that night. So thank you. I'm going to have such great dreams tonight. I know it. Right? Very exciting stuff. Record the dreams upon waking. Okay? So the one meditation, it's to improve dream recall. I recommend you do that practice every single night until you are really remembering even more than one dream every day. And you can go to bed at night, set the intention to remember your dreams, wake up in the morning without that meditation, and still write dreams down. Other ways to record your dreams, if you don't want to write them down, I don't know about you, but my handwriting in the morning is so awful I can't read it. I voice record them. So I send myself a little voice note. I have a WhatsApp group, it's called the Me group, and I send myself my morning ramblings of all the symbols that I remember and the information that I interpret and what happened in my dreams. And let me tell you, listening to my dream archive is hands down the most entertaining thing I can spend my time doing. It is hilarious. It is exceptionally brilliant. It's, you know, and that's yours. It's so powerful. It is so, so, so powerful. Once you have the practice of recalling your dreams, you can start working with invoking lucid dreams. Now, there are a number of tools. You are welcome to go and research other tools. These are not the only ones, but these are some of the most common ones. I've already talked to you about the potency and the power of nightmares, because nightmares, they shock us. So it's very easy to identify a nightmare opposed to a normal dream. So use nightmares, especially those of you who might suffer from nightmares, especially recurring nightmares, right? Because you're already aware of those symbols. Instead of fearing them, use them as fuel to become lucid and remember that you are the power and you can face that fear. And then face it, hug it, embrace it, love it. It's an archetype of you. It's a reflection of you, right? A part of you that needs to be integrated and to come home. That monster sitting in the corner, that shadow being chasing you, right? I don't know. Even if it's a murderer with a knife chasing you, right? Firstly, you're more powerful than that dream image, because right now you're the dreamer, so you're in control. So on Premium, I also have a sleep talk down lucid dream invocation. Once you are remembering your dreams, then tap into that one. I recommend you listen to it every night until you start having regular lucid dreams. Of course, my content is not the only content like this. You can try some of the other recordings available here on Insight Timer or other spaces. There is so much information out there. I hope that you use this conversation as just a doorway that opens you to the infinite, the eternal exploration of that which may come through for you in the dreams. Never be done defining what that space is, what it means, and what can happen there. But definitely do lean towards believing in its potency and its power. There is nothing to fear. Because it is only when you believe there is something to fear that there will be. And that again is how you transmute nightmare symbols and images. When you realize there's nothing to fear and you're brave enough to face it, it shrinks, it dissolves, it transforms, just like that. I've done it many times. Very powerful. If there are any questions, I encourage you to share here in the comments. If you would like, I know it's a very personal thing, so certainly no pressure, but if there is a dream or a dream symbol or a recurring theme that you would like to share and get some of my thoughts and impressions about, which again, don't let that be the final interpretation ever. Let it be a doorway that leads you to something else, to a deeper exploration. I would like to talk a little bit about decoding the dreams, dream interpretation, and some tools that you can use for accessing that. Of course, the dreams are a very symbolic space, so always think about what that represents. Sometimes it can be a little bit literal, but for the most part, it's talking about something that makes you feel this way. For example, always ask the question, how did I feel in the dream? That is always very revealing. Very revealing. And then ask yourself, where do you feel that way in your waking life? Because that'll show you links as well. Very important tools, those. Ask questions and then answer them yourself. Do not go to Dr. Google, darlings. No. No. Please do not look up online. What does it mean if I dream about a train, or if I dream about a dolphin, or if I dream about this? People, no. You are the key to interpreting the dream symbols that are given to you through your psyche. Your dreams are going to speak in symbols you understand. You are the key. Nobody else. You are the key. And sure, there are some universal symbols. But you can tap into the universal symbols without Google, without looking it up in a... Don't go and get dream dictionaries, please. Create your own dream dictionary. Ask yourself the questions. And before I continue, I would love to say, those of you who have enjoyed today's conversation, if you feel called to follow, it would be such a divine privilege to continue to journey with you. So we hope you'll hit follow. If you'd like to learn more about us and our practices and what we teach and what we do and the services we offer, you can go to the teacher page, hit the About section. You will find resources there. We hope you'll tap into our guided meditations. And of course, we would love to see you at one of our guided channeled meditations, which we do here on Insight Timer. We do mini reading sessions. We do group channeling sessions. There are many beautiful gifts that we offer here in this space. So we hope to see you there as well. I don't always do these teaching sessions. So this is really a gift. I normally charge for my teachings. Of course, if you feel like you've benefited from today's session, a donation goes a long way in helping to make this a sustainable practice for us. It is received graciously, though of course not expected, and we thank those of you who continue to support us here on Insight Timer. What would you recommend for staying awake longer? I get too excited when I notice I'm awake, and then it ends things quickly. So I just want to say that's not something that happens to me. So the answer that I'm going to give you is not from my own personal experience, but from reading, because that actually does happen a lot. And what I've read, so it's always important for me to say, This is not my own information. This is not from my own experience. I also don't remember the person who wrote this, but I do remember where I read it. And there is, well, I can't tell you the exact address, but there is like an online lucid dreaming forum where people share their experiences. And so I read someone's personal experience there. And what they recommend is that when you wake up in the dream, because it's quite common that you either get excited or scared, which is actually a very similar response because it brings the heart palpitations up. And then often you either wake up in your bed or you fall back asleep within the dream. Is, grounding practices that you use in waking life. Down, become aware of your feet, become aware of your hands, look at your hands. Ground yourself in the dream, look around. First acknowledge where you are. Before you try to start changing things and shifting things, just like really ground yourself where you are. So grounding practices, right? Breathe in, breathe out, be in your astral body. Because of course it's a very different body that we find ourselves in, but it is somewhat a body, and sometimes it's loosely based on our current physical bodies, so that we don't feel too strange about it. But if you look at your hands, they might warp a bit, but just ground yourself down. So grounding practices, right? Which of course is a calming practice, right? And those of us who meditate a lot, of course, here we are on this meditation app, Insight Timer. You are all practicing meditators. Use meditation to make yourself calm. Okay, I'm in a dream. What am I going to do with this? Right? So ground yourself, breathe, calm yourself down. I had a dream where I looked into someone's face and felt a pure love that I've never felt in my waking life. This was a pure love and not sexual. Please, can you shed light on this? That's so beautiful. My immediate intuitive feeling here is that you were connecting actually with a soulmate energy that you have journeyed with many, many times in your life. And that feeling of the pure love was shown to you so that you can recognize it when you find it here in waking life. It's to help you to recognize the soulmate kind of love. Now, people get a little bit twisted up about the conversation of soulmates, so I just want to throw a couple disclaimers. We do not only have one soulmate. That does not mean it's only one person that you can feel that kind of love towards either. But it's to teach you what true love feels like so that you don't waste your time with the feeling of not that raw, real authenticity. The other teaching that comes through here is to show you what that pure love feels like so that you can choose to emanate that love into your life, so that you understand what that feeling is. And it's interesting because I've been thinking a lot about this energy of love for a few days. Actually, I've been contemplating it, and we often think about love as an emotion, as a feeling, and I do think it's something we can feel, but I think love is also an action, and it's a choice. And when you know that, actually, when you boil it back down, we are all soulmates. It's just special when we can see that, when we recognize that in someone, right? That's a very special moment. We don't recognize it in everyone, but we are all soulmates, and we can choose to emanate that kind of love and to see every face, right? And this would be the ultimate goal of this teaching, to look at every face with that kind of love, even potentially the face of someone who hurt you. And that would be, that's the end goal. It takes time to get to that point, right? You don't have to jump straight to that point. Forgiving someone takes time. Processing something and releasing trauma, that can take time. But when you can get to the point where you can look at every face with that kind of love, that's very powerful. And what a beautiful gift your dream realm gave you, is to understand what that feels like. But again, We can choose to love people, and then we show that through our actions, one of which is the way we look lovingly into their eyes. And I think, personally, and you'll see how many people will avoid eye contact. It's because, and I really believe this, if you look into someone's eyes for long enough, you cannot help but fall in love. Because the eyes are the windows to the soul, to the part of us that is pure, the part of us that is eternal. And you stare someone directly in their eyes for long enough, no matter who they are, you cannot help but fall in love. Again, let these be doorways that take you into deeper exploration. And I think also the point of love does not always need to be linked with sexuality, right? We can love many people in our lives. It does not always mean we need to be with them either, right? What about talking and shouting in your sleep? Ha. So, look, like I said earlier in the session, there are multiple lenses that we can look through. Sure. Oh, now I want to go into so much. I could talk another hour about this. On one level, there's a medical malfunction that happens. Of course, we can look psychologically and spiritually as well. And I will stick now to the psychological and spiritual aspects, but I will say there are medical ways that you can treat that, and there's some fault that happens. It's like sleepwalking, right? Our bodies are meant to go into sleep paralysis at a certain point in the sleep cycle, so that when we are busy doing all sorts of things, the body stays still, the physical body, and the other body, and they're connected, right? They're connected. There's this sort of cord connecting them. And so similarly with the talking. But I do think it can be revealing of, and again, there can't be one answer for everyone. Your answer might look different to mine, but I know when I'm talking in my sleep, it's actually because something is bothering me in real life. And I feel like I'm not voicing it, I'm silencing myself, and so it comes up in babbling while I'm sleeping. Shouting, on the other hand, is often a sign of night terrors, and of course that's linked with nightmares, except it's another layer, a little bit more extreme, often linked with a lot of childhood trauma and quite possibly past lives with a lot of trauma. For those people, I recommend hypnosis, therapy, and past life regression. Working with nightmares, when they're night terrors, when there's shouting, I think it's definitely an indication of night terrors. There is signs of a traumatized subconscious. Quite possibly the subconscious has locked it away, and so the subconscious is trying to process, but probably battling to process in the nighttime. And so the physical body's not getting enough rest as well. Okay, that's a very quick answer. It's too basic because it goes so much deeper. Yesterday I felt in my dream that another entity was there. Didn't see it, but in my dream I was saying to myself, it came. Maybe it was about Pluto in Aquarius. That's what I was thinking a lot, but maybe not. Any ideas about this? I would say trust your intuition, darling. I would say these informations come through in a powerful way because you're tapped in, darling. So trust yourself. Another entity, let's talk a little bit about Aquarius energy, right? Aquarius is the worldly. Could we be talking about alien entities, right? And if you believe in aliens, of course, I'm not going to force anyone to believe in aliens. I personally work with aliens, but maybe you don't believe in aliens. That's all right too. But Aquarius energy is futuristic. It's quirky. It's different. It's unique. It's huge innovation. It's huge shift in consciousness. And Pluto is all about the shadow work. and it's generational. We're going to be there for 20 years. We've got 20 years ahead of us of Pluto in Aquarius. This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. This is big shift in powers, right? We're going to see major shifts. And this is the time, people, to speak out against injustice, to stop silencing ourselves, to talk about the things taboo that we've been hiding, to allow ourselves to fully be and express ourselves as we are, accept ourselves as we are, right? And how beautifully this idea of an alien entity fits into those archetypes, right? Strange, unique, different. Of course, we know that the United States government has recently admitted the absolute definite existence of UFOs and aliens. So we know this has already been admitted, right? How did you feel about that entity? You may or may not answer that in the questions. It's just important, that you sit and contemplate those questions is the most important thing. How did you feel? Were you comfortable? I kind of love the dreams that I have where I'm like, oh, I'm contacting a spirit. I often have mediumship dreams where I'm like, oh, I'm being a medium, which, I'll tell you, mediumship is not my, it's not my most practiced tool. Like psychic work, yes. Connecting with entities, yes. Crossed over loved ones. As a small child, I started shutting it out because I found them confusing because they don't always know what's going on. And I liked talking to the beings because they seemed to know what was going on. And I liked the information that came through, felt very safe. A lot of the crossed over loved ones that are lingering around these realms, they're scared to cross over, they're not letting go, they're still very trapped in human thoughts, right? So their information was a bit cloudy and I didn't like that. So it's something I learned to shut out, and it's only in the last 2-3 years that I became open to receiving it again. And so those activations started happening in the dream realms, and now it comes through more often, right? Again, I do not advertise myself as a medium. It's something I'm exploring. It's something I'm open to. It's something that, it's super interesting. So, I also sometimes dream about aliens, but I don't necessarily see them, but I'm talking about them, and I'm talking about the fact that their presence is there. And it's super interesting that this energy comes up because just yesterday I felt the energy of aliens around. I felt it specifically linked with someone I recently met, and it was like just so strong. And then later that day I literally saw a UFO, and I was like, oh my gosh, do you see that UFO right there? And the lady's like, where? And I'm like, right there. And then she opened her eyes and like really looked, and she was like, oh, right there. I'm like, yeah, like 10 meters away. And it's amazing how most people don't even notice. And yeah, anyway, alien energy. And thank you for pointing out that link with Aquarius and Pluto and that big shift that's happening, because I do think that they're preparing for more close contact. And I do think we're ready for it. We're getting ready for it, right? What do you think happens with insomnia? Are we avoiding our dreams? I think, okay, I just want to say, I have done an entire talk on insomnia, and it is on my teacher page. So please look it up. I have a meditation to help with insomnia. I have a talk about insomnia and how I cured insomnia. It is a personal thing for me. So I'm actually just going to point you in that direction because I've already done that conversation. It's a good conversation, so please go tap in. I think, though, just to answer your specificity of your question, I don't necessarily think it's an avoidance of dreams, but I do think it's a fear of letting go. But it goes a bit deeper than that, right? So go tap into that teaching. It's a conversation. And yet, like I said, I have two. The one is a lecture about, tools and things you can bring in. That's not to listen to while you're trying to fall asleep. That's to listen to during the day to, see how you can shift things in your life and where it comes from and sort of how you can work with your own psyche, right? And then I do also have a insomnia meditation. So, someone once left me a review saying, oh, this was full of great information, but it didn't help me to fall asleep. I'm like, yeah, because it is a podcast. It is not a meditation. The intention is not to put you to sleep right now, but to teach you how to work with insomnia, if it interests you and if it's something that you battle with. I literally spent 2 years barely sleeping. It is so awful. Like, you need to sleep. This body needs to rest, right? And see, I do believe in aliens. I can also feel often like a medium and speak intuitive words and also write intuitively. That's amazing. I hope that you develop that, explore that, practice that. I immediately, when I read your thing, I can tell you are intuitive, you have gifts, and you need to start trusting in them. And of course, if you would like to work with me in that capacity, it would be an honor to do so. And please feel free to reach out. You'll be able to find information on my profile page. There is a link in the About section. My legs were shaking. That's what I felt in my body, but I wasn't scared. And that's just a powerful receiving energy, right? Interesting. All right, so let me just see. There may have been a couple things that I wanted to still discuss here. In terms of other tools for invoking lucid dreaming, you can set alarms throughout your day. And when that alarm goes off, just ask yourself, like, get in the habit of going, oh, am I dreaming? Just do a dream check. Like, try to stick your fingers through your hand. Try to walk through a wall, right? Try to feel if something hard is maybe something soft instead of hard, right? Look out for things defying the normal laws of science, right? And of course, the more you're recording your dreams, the more you're acknowledging the kinds of symbols that recur in your personal dreams. Like for me, it's always water. Water is everywhere in my dreams, in ways that it's not in waking life. So that becomes a dream symbol for me. So I acknowledge, oh, the room is suddenly flooding. That's kind of weird. Or like there are snakes everywhere, for example, and that's kind of weird. That's not normal, especially right now I'm in this place where there aren't a lot of snakes, for example. So bring that dream checking into your waking life. Make it a daily practice. Again, you can start that now if you want to, but it's much better to first improve your dream recall. If you're already remembering lots of dreams, you're already recording your dreams, then by all means, jump straight into the lucid dreaming. And it's interesting to me because on my premium content, right, the improved dream recall and the lucid dreaming, like everyone's listening to the lucid dreaming. It's got much more listens, and barely anyone's listening to that dream recall. And I'm like, y'all are jumping in too quick. The most important thing is to remember the lucid dream, because many of you actually are having lucid dreams already. You just don't remember. So now you're trying to invoke lucid dreams, you have a lucid dream, you wake up the next day, you forget everything. What is the point of that? So please go tap into the dream recall first. Don't skip the steps. Don't skip the steps. When it comes to looking at the symbols of your dreams, ask yourself the question, what does this mean? What about this symbol could be a metaphor for something in my life? That is a practice. Let yourself be the decoder. At some point, I will create a recording for helping you to revisit dreams you've been to and to ask for help in accessing. Oh, I think I already have a recording on Insight Timer as well. I can't remember if it's premium or the normal content, but I think it might be the normal content. That is Meet Your Dream Guide. Right? I've got Meet Your Guide. I think I also have Meet Your Dream Guide. And to meet your dream guide, like that's the guide who's going to help you to interpret the dreams. And then you can go into meditation, call your dream guide, ask them to help you to decode the dreams. The answer need not come through in that moment. Accept that the answer comes. And then just allow it to come to you over the next few days. Because it will just naturally unfold. but it helps you to set that intention for, I want to decode this dream. I want to understand what it is, and then just be open. Alright, darlings, I do think that I have said enough. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for sharing. I hope some of you will feel called to drop a donation, which will obviously be received very graciously, though not expected. And yeah, please do tap into the dream content. Of course, I have so much other content out here. Explore. There's a lot there. For those of you who are on premium, you may want to explore the Abundance Activation Meditation series. That's an 8-part series. Very proud of that content. It's been very powerful for me on a personal level. I made it for myself. And yeah, thank you everyone for being here. Deepest of gratitude. What an honor and a privilege it is to be connected with you. And yeah, so much love to you all. Happy dreaming. I hope you invoke those incredible lucid dreams and decode the dreams and unlock all of the beautiful gifts that, I mean, they're already all laden within you, right? It is you already. It's just about realizing that that is you. So I hope you enjoy this journey into deeper into yourself, deeper into the multiplicity, the depth, the infiniteness, the vastness of that which you are, we are, one. Love you all. Bye, darling.